In 80 AD, beneath the thunderous roar of Rome's newly completed Colosseum, a 19-year-old captive named Sabina stood shackled in darkness. Above her, 50,000 Romans cheered the gladiator who had slain her brothers. What happened next beneath the arena became one of Rome's most hidden and brutal secrets, a ritual so vicious even historians debated whether to record it. The Colosseum wasn't just a stadium, it was a monument to Rome's dominance. Inaugurated in 80 AD under Emperor Titus, its sands soaked up the blood of fighters and beasts alike. Beneath that floor lay a labyrinth of tunnels housing captives, living symbols of Rome's conquest. When General Marcus Antonius Primus crushed the Dacian rebellion, he brought back over 800 captives, including noblewomen like Sabina. Rome's goal wasn't merely to conquer, but to utterly humiliate, breaking the spirit of entire peoples through public degradation. Gaius Valerius Maximus, a gladiator scarred from 14 years of brutal combat, earned his freedom by killing 89 men in the arena. On that fateful day, after defeating the Dacian champion before Emperor Titus, he was granted a prize, the right to claim captive women, including Sabina. Sabina, once betrothed to a fallen warrior, now faced a terrifying fate. Guards scrubbed the captives and dressed them in torn garments, grim preparation for the spectacle to come. She would become entertainment for the very crowd that cheered her family's destruction. 20 Dacian women were forced into the arena to reenact their people's defeat, mocked and ordered to fight each other with wooden swords for the crowd's amusement. Sabina and Camilla, once friends, refused to strike one another, standing motionless as the crowd turned hostile. Their defiance was a final act of resistance. Dragged into underground chambers designed for captivity and exploitation, Sabina and Camilla faced the empire's darkest tradition, being distributed as rewards to victorious gladiators. That evening, when Gaius entered Sabina's cell, something unexpected happened. Instead of claiming his prize, he sat and listened. They shared stories of their former lives, a brief, fragile connection amid the empire's machinery of cruelty. Gaius invoked an obscure provision in Roman law, declaring Sabina too ill to be taken as his reward. It was a lie that bought her dignity, if not freedom. Days later, weakened by captivity and untreated wounds from her ordeal, Sabina succumbed to infection. Yet Gaius's refusal to accept Rome's customary reward sparked whispers throughout the city, an act of compassion that scandalized those who saw captives as mere spoils of war. The incident reached the Senate, where debate erupted over the practice. Some senators saw it as sacred tradition, others recognized the political liability of such public brutality. The result was the Lex Captiva, a law that banned the public distribution of captive women as gladiatorial prizes, though private exploitation continued behind closed doors. Rome's empire had been forced to acknowledge a boundary to its spectacle, even as deeper cruelties persisted. Recent excavations have uncovered underground chambers beneath the Colosseum, revealing holding cells, restraints, and the infrastructure of systematic dehumanization. These discoveries confirm the architectural reality that made such practices possible, exposing Rome's dual legacy, monumental achievements built upon a foundation of suffering and silence. Sabina's story forces us to look beyond the marble and glory. She never witnessed the law her defiance inspired, and Gaius's single act of mercy couldn't dismantle an empire built on subjugation. Yet in that underground cell, two people from opposite sides of conquest found a moment of shared humanity. Her story reminds us that beneath civilization's grandest monuments lie voices long silenced, suffering long ignored. History's true measure isn't found in the height of our arenas, but in how we treat those who have no power to resist us. The question Rome's legacy poses to us is simple and eternal. When we build our own monuments, whose bones will lie beneath them?